Hello and good afternoon. Here is the news at 4. First, the highlights. Residents commend Lagos State government over subsidized food initiative. Federal government flags a 40 billion naira mass metering project in army parks nationwide. On the foreign, non-governmental organization accuses Israel of deliberately blocking aid to Gaza. And in sports, Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola likens Premier League clash against Arsenal to cup final. And now the details. I am Akan Usen. Lagos residents have commended the state government over the Onje Core initiative introduced by the Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration to cushion the effects of the economic hardship. The discounted food markets kicked off on Sunday across the 5 divisions of the state. Staple food items including rice, gari, beans, egg and pepper were sold at a 25% discount to excited residents who tripped out to different locations to participate in the scheme. Commissioner for Agriculture Bisola Olusoya led the ministry's officials to some of the locations, while members of the Special Advisory Committee appointed by Governor Sanwo-Olu were also at some locations to monitor the exercise. Olusoya acknowledged a few hiccups in some locations which ran out of foodstuff due to the mammoth crowd present, but added that the situation was promptly corrected as more supplies came in to meet the demands of residents. Lagos State government and the Agege local government area have ordered traders and beggars on rail tracks along the Agege corridor to vacate before strict enforcement and demolition. The order was raised at a stakeholders meeting with legal occupants, owners of shanties, traders and those begging for alms on the rail tracks. Commissioner for Establishments, Training and Pensions, Afolabi Ayotayo, in his remarks at the meeting, charged the occupants of the shanties to vacate the rail lines before the commencement would commence. Ayotayo also appealed to the community and market leaders to enlighten their residents and traders to shun trading on the railway lines to avoid being arrested by a joint enforcement team to be set up soon. Earlier, the chairman of Agege local government, Ganu Ekunjobi, said enforcing and holding people accountable for their actions will now be the priority of the government at the railway line. Ekunjobi added that community police will join hands with the police to arrest the perpetrators. As part of efforts to actualize its promise to sustain a flood-free Lagos, the Lagos State government has intensified dredging and cleaning of the major drainage channels and canals across the state. The Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, stated this when he led state officials on another inspection tour to some parts of the state. He explained that the redesigning and reconstruction of the System 44 drainage channels after the removal of structures on the setback will prevent flooding in the Lekki axis when the rains commence. Wahab added that the dredging and lining of the canal will ameliorate the difficulties encountered in the areas during the rainy season and also save lives and properties. Now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has commenced the mass metering of the Nigerian Army formations nationwide. At the flag off of the exercise at the headquarters of the 9th Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Ikeja Military Cantonment, Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu said the exercise will end the era of estimated billings in the power sector. Adelabu said the exercise will be in phases, with the Keja cantonment being the first phase, explaining that the current exercise will last for 6 weeks before the second phase begins. The minister said a sum of 12.7 billion naira has been released out of a total of 40 billion naira for the mass metering project. The National Assembly says it will reinvent the civil society organization's liaison office for better collaboration and smooth running of government. Chairman, Senate Committee on Diaspora and Non-Governmental Organizations Victor Ume stated this in Lagos at the just concluded joint workshop organized for the Senate Committee on Diaspora and Non-Governmental Organizations and House of Representatives Committee on Civil Societies and Development Matters. Ume said the move will ensure smooth collaboration between National Assembly members and CSOs for effectiveness in the government. And now to foreign news. A non-governmental organization, Oxfam, has accused Israel of using bureaucracy to deliberately hinder aid supplies headed into Gaza. The NGO in its report says aid trucks wait an average of 20 days to access the enclave. This comes amid a rise in international protest against the shortages of food, water, and medicine in the besieged and battered Palestinian enclave, with one United Nations agency warning that famine will arrive by May at the latest. Oxfam Middle East and North Africa Director Salih Abi Khalil said the rejection of a warehouse full of international aid, including oxygen, incubators, water, and sanitation gear, is an example of an overall humanitarian response that Israel has made so dangerous and dysfunctional. And now sports. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has described his side's next Premier League clash against Arsenal as a cup final. Both teams are meeting after the international break in an encounter that could determine where the English Premier League title will swing to at the end of the season. Arsenal remain top of the league while Manchester City is in third. And that's all for the news at 4. Just before we go, maintain adequate distance from the vehicle ahead of you to avoid collision. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms on X, formerly Twitter, Traffic Radio 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961, Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, watch us live on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration renovated 5 libraries, Ekpe, Badagry, Itiosa, Amuodofin, and Ikorodu? You can get more details on Lagos State Government's website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos residents have commended the state government over the Onje Eko initiative introduced by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration to cushion the effects of the economic hardship. The federal government has commenced the mass metering of the Nigerian Army formations nationwide. We also told you that a non-governmental organization, Oxfam, has accused Israel of using bureaucracy to deliberately hinder aid supplies headed into Gaza. And in sports, Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has described his side's next Premier League clash against Arsenal as a cup final. For contact with the newsroom, please send a message to Lagos Traffic Radio at lagostate.gov.mg. And that ends the news broadcast compiled by Adeswa Ejoyoka. I am Akan Usen. Thanks for listening and please stay safe. Good afternoon.